If you're here for the first time, welcome to the home of all things data analytics. For our regular subscribers, we are glad to have you back. Today, we will be talking about. Today, we will be talking about data warehouse. First of all, let's define what a data warehouse is. A data warehouse is a centralized repository that stores and organizes data from various sources designed for analysis and reporting rather than for transactional purposes, which enables businesses to make informed decisions. Now, before we talk about data warehouse, we need to talk about where the data is actually coming from. A data warehouse, as the name signifies, is just a place where final data is stored for purpose of analysis. Now, data can come from different sources. For example, we have data coming from CRM, that is customer relationship management. We have data coming from ERP, enterprise resource planning, which is a software, and a good example is SAP. SAP has several modules. It has accounting, material management, financial management, it has customer service, it has so many other modules. So data flows from various departments to a certain stage. After being transformed, now goes to data warehouse. So other sources remains the operational system. For example, when you go to doctor's office, they might not really have a database. They just have some operational systems, some software, like a cost of the shelf, COF, that they use. So in this way, data is being gathered, which can be transformed and pushed to the data warehouse. And some other sources like the flat files, Excel, text files, so many other files that we can get this file. Some companies do not have the ability to be able to buy, normal data management system. So they might be just storing their data in some flat files, Excel, and some other maybe text files and some other sources like that. Now, when data is being gathered from the data warehouse, this data tends to be pushed to the cleansing stage. Now, in the cleansing stage, we have a process called the ETL process. The ETL process stands for extract, transform, and load. And what does this stand for? When data is being gathered from the data sources, they go straight to the ETL page where this data is being transformed. For example, you go to Walmart to buy some stuff, and normally you expect to return it if you don't want it within 30 days. So this data of this particular product you bought stays in the ETL stage. So which means after 30 days, if you don't come, they get pushed to the data warehouse. Now, what happens in the ETL stage? In that ETL stage, we have the online transactional process, which is the OLTP. It stands for like transactional database, where this data is being stored before being transformed, because any data that get pushed from ETL to the data warehouse in the data warehouse cannot be deleted. The data in the data warehouse is being governed and highly restricted to a certain number of people. So in the data cleansing environment, which has to do with the ETL, the data is being transformed. For example, when you bought it, this particular product is being scanned and you return it again. It's going to be scanned again. So when cleansing this data, we know that the sales will be credited to the sales table in the data warehouse, and also a return will have to be credited to returns table in the data warehouse. So which means when we are doing the final account at the end of the month, they knock each other out. So this transformation gets staged in the data warehouse. So now let's talk about the data warehouse itself. The data warehouse, like I said, is a centralized repository that stores and organizes data from various sources designed for analysis and reporting. Now, what do we mean? So in this data warehouse, we have some data management tools that we use. For example, we talk about the SQL server. In that server, we'll have what we call the schema. Then from the schema, we talk about the table itself. So these tables are being gathered and created So the sales table will be created, the customer table will be created, the orders table will be created, several other kind of tables will be created for the purpose of this analysis. So in this case, when this final data gets into the data warehouse, at the end of the day, we are rest assured that we have the appropriate data. Now, this data can be used for reporting, this data can be used for analytics, this data can be used for data mining. In that case, for example, we want to see the total number of members that actually bought products from us last month. So we will run this analysis and go to the customers table, run the orders table, run the sales table to make sure we get the appropriate data out. So, like I said, data warehouse is very, very important in an organization if you want to get the true value and make concrete decisions within your organization.
So that's it for today. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. And if you want to keep learning, check out the other videos we have here on our channel.